What would you say to someone, Marcy, who said they would rather be dead than blind? Believe it or not, that does happen.
Well, life is much more than whether you can see or not.
Hmm.
Life There is so much to life that you can do. You can do anything, uh, and you'd miss out on so much that that life has to offer. I mean, there's music, there's art, there's plays, there's everything that you can get into, but you need the support to get past that initial, that initial being afraid. And I think that that's what it is. I think that blindness is feared. Um, and I don't think that the English language and the way it's been used in the past has helped. Love is blind, you're blind drunk, you're
Hmm.
blind to that, you're being blindsided. I don't think that really helps putting vision loss into a really good light. I think sorry,
Yeah.
that was an unintended pun.
Yes.
Really, seriously. Uh, but I think that fear is a lot of that. And
Hmm.
if death to some
Hmm.
is something they don't fear, whereas living with a disability might be something that they fear.
Right.
So I think that people who say that need to be taken seriously. And I think that they need to be shown that life has so much more to offer if they just give it a chance and try and get past their fear.
Thank you for that answer. Amy?
Yeah, those are great points, Marcy. The idea of what we would call the ableist microaggression, which is exactly what you're talking about, is
Hmm.
this
Hmm.
bias around language
Yeah.
that inherently think changes the way we think about something. I think media, right, where we see a representation of blindness, as Al Pacino, right, in Scent of a Woman.
Hmm.
I think he
Hmm.
hated his life in a lot of ways, right, and he was a blind guy, so we often see um, these poor representations of people with disabilities in media, and that so that's the only representation we get as
Hmm.
a society, and that clouds our judgment of what life is like. Often I think that this happens for folks with an acquired sight loss. So I was 24 when I lost my sight, and I didn't know what it was that I was going to be able to do next. And it was meeting other people in the blind community. And all of a sudden I was like, oh, you mean I just put an elastic band around my shampoo bottle and then I know the difference
Hmm.
between the shampoo and conditioner? Like, how smart is that? And once I realized that blindness was inconvenient, but
Hmm.
not like for me, not for some it might be terminal, but for me it was just inconvenient,
Right.
right? And I just had to like learn what drawer I kept my scissors in, and like, how to
Hmm.
organize my sock drawer, and like
Hmm.
these things are learnable. And once
Hmm.
you immerse yourself with community, you learn the hacks
Hmm.
of that.
Right. I
And
like that.
right? And then all of a sudden I was like, wait a second. There's richness. These folks have things to offer. There's so much beauty in the blind community that at this point in my life, and Peter, this better not be your next question, but when people say, if God offered you your sight back tomorrow, would you take it? My answer is no. My answer is this is my life. I've lived this life for 17 years now. I'm happy with who I am. I know how to navigate this world. I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything. I gave up my car. I've made peace with that. I know people and I've had opportunities in this world that I never would have experienced before.
Mm.
And so if I live my life knowing that there are gifts in this world that I've been granted with this experience,
Mm. Yeah.
that's where I am. And if you can get to that place,
Yeah.
you get, especially with an acquired disability, um, it feels like you've come full circle, and you will find that getting to that place brings you peace.